Listen, if you didn't know, now you know. We have so many fearless leaders out there who are still alive and some who are now ancestors who have written down their thoughts, written down their perspectives, written down their truths for us to continue to carry on, to learn from the positives, the negatives, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Listen, I have 3 new books that I'm excited to share with you. These are going on my 2026 TBR for sure, and they're going on the first quarter, okay? Because we know February, Black History Month is coming up, but we read all year long. And I want to also share what I'm currently reading, so stay tuned. Hello, beautiful people. If you are new here, welcome. I appreciate you for joining me. I am Darnaya, Darice, first name, middle name. Okay. Yes, leave a purple heart in the chat if you know what it is. Okay, now I enjoy making content about what I'm reading. I enjoy making vlogs. I enjoy making motivational videos. So over here you're gonna get a little bit of everything. You're gonna get inspired, number one, no matter what it is. Okay, but I want to get into the 3 new books that I have. These are going on my 2026 TBR. Some of these are rereads. They could for you probably even, or they may be new to you. I'm pretty sure you may have heard of these authors and leaders that I'm going to mention, but I also want to get into what I'm currently reading. And listen, all the books I'm showing are of fearless leaders that we should be studying, we should be remembering. You should be teaching your kids if you have them. You should be teaching your fellow family members, whoever, to learn more about us, here in the States and globally, and learning to connect the dots so we can use that and see how can we apply that to continue to make progress within our lives as individuals and as a collective. So first one I want to share is none other, okay? If you haven't heard them, look them up, okay? This is the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. This is specifically Message to the People. This is the copy that I have, and the publisher for this one is Dover Thrift Editions. So that's Dover Thrift Editions. You also have different covers for these. You have those who are Black printers who have also edited and reprinted this. So check this out. It's called Message to the People, the Course of African Philosophy. And I'm just going to read the back so you can get a little gist of what it is. In 1937, Marcus Garvey, founder of the United Negro Improvement Association, also if you hear of UNIA, and one of the most controversial figures in the history of race relations, assembled his most trusted organizers to impart his life lessons. For 1 month, he instructed this elite study body at its peak, the largest international mass movement of African peoples, on topics ranging from universal knowledge and how to attain it via leadership, character, God, and the social system. What I love about Marcus Garvey is because you're going to find he had one, if not of the biggest movements that we know of that is close to our time. Okay, he was alive and well in the early 1900s. I believe his birthday is August. He was born August 1887, I want to say. And so a fellow August birthday, okay? If you didn't know, I'm a Leo, okay? August 1st is my birthday. Don't forget to shout out, okay? But he was such a profound leader. He was is essentially from Jamaica, and listen, he speaks fast. If you ever watch Family Matters, Carl Winslow, I feel like, can play Marcus Garvey, okay? If it's not too late, okay? He can play Marcus Garvey. But Marcus Garvey spoke really fast. He does have lectures and speeches that are still up on YouTube. If you want to look him up, you may have to pause to get what he's saying, but he was fearless. Do you hear me? He spoke his mind, and he gets a lot of misconception even from our own people, because some people feel like, okay, he wasn't had the best intentions, but read his work for yourself. He had 2 wives, both with the same name, Amy Garvey. They were both named Amy, but you have Amy Jaquez Garvey, Amy J. I say Jaquez, but she could pronounce it Jackie, but okay, neither here or there. They were both his first and his second wife was named Amy Garvey, which was pretty funny. He has other works out, the philosophy and opinions of Marcus Garvey. I have the PDF version of this, and I have the digital version of the other works as well, but I wanted the physical copy, and it's pretty short. Look how short that is. Okay, so you can knock this out in one setting if you want to. You can break it down. When it comes to our ancestors' work, I tend to treat it as a textbook, if you will, or treat it as a course in its own, and I take notes, I take my time. I don't necessarily rush these reads, and these are definitely reads you come back to, you refer to, you reread, and you talk about it, you watch lectures on it, and just continue to dive in on who he was. He had a son named Dr. Julius Garvey, who recently passed away within the last few years, and Julius Garvey was fighting for postpartum, for him to be posthumously kind of exonerated of his charges, because Marcus Garvey was exiled, and he didn't get to live to see that. But Biden, before Biden left office, he ended up exonerated from his charges. Obama didn't even do it. It was Biden. So yeah, look up Marcus Garvey if you haven't looked him up. Another fearless leader, Maya Angelou. You know, if you watch me, I will talk about Maya all the time, because ever since I was a little girl, she was my inspiration, one of my inspirations, because I loved poetry, and I used to write poetry here and there as a young girl and publish it in those, books in school where they let you publish poetry. And she was such an inspiration. I was about to say she was such an information. She was the information, okay? She held the information in her, y'all. But she was such an inspiration, okay? This is her 3rd autobiography. And this one is Singing and Swinging and Getting Married Like Christmas. Most people have read the first one. I know why. The cage bird sings, okay? Cage bird and clothes gotta fly, okay? Okay. And I read the second one this year. The second one, Gathered Together in My Name. I love that book. One of my favorite nonfiction reads for this year of 2025. And I plan to read this in 2026. And I want to read all of her autobiographies. Okay, it's 4 more because this is the 3rd. Okay, she wrote each stage of her life. She made sure we knew her perspective of her life, and I love that, because I don't know if you ever heard the saying, control your narrative. No matter what it is, no matter what anyone says, you have the right to control your narrative. You write out your book. You play out your own movie. How do you want to be remembered? How do you want to be looked upon and cherished? Okay, what legacy are you trying to leave? And this woman here left a big one, and she was not Miss Perfect. Okay, she didn't have everything. It's so many trials and tribulations that she went through, so many choices. You would have looked at her and say, now you know better, okay? But she stands on her word, she stands on her choices, and she articulates them so well, or she articulated them so well, in how she navigated and what she learned from the rights and wrongs of her life, or what we view as right or wrong, or whatnot. So I'm excited to read this one. This one's a little bit thicker than Gathered Together in My Name. Gathered Together in My Name, you can read honestly that in one setting. This is about 305 pages, it looks like. So I'm excited, and I love the cover here. Let me know if you read that one. And last but not least, as far as my new books goes, I have Asada. Y'all seen this one, okay? Miss Asada, an autobiography. I'm so excited. You see the red, black, and green. Peep it. in the code. Marcus Garvey, okay, he had the what we call the Pan-African flag, and so whenever you see red, black, and green together, when in terms of Black leadership or that stance, that's in relation to the Pan-African flag, against which the Garvey movement helped to promote that as well. But you also see with the gold in it, our Islanders there. And so I haven't read this one. I actually have this one in my digital library, which is PDFs. My husband and I used to homeschool, and so we have a lot of PDFs that we copy of our ancestor works that are out of print, that we are able to hold and keep, and eventually maybe one day reprint them if we can, but we'll have them in the digital library. But I wanted the physical copy. I'm so excited I get to tab this up. This may be one I may highlight. If you know me, I don't highlight my books, but I do tab them so I don't have to highlight, but who knows. And I'm excited to get into this one. This is not long. It's about a little over 270 pages or so, but you can see the pages are long and the wording is kind of small there, but not too bad. And Asada just passed away recently, so rest in peace to her. But she passed away still a free woman on her own terms. And so I'm excited to get into this one. If you don't know, Obama also, when he was in office, tried to get her to return to the United States, side-eye, okay, because she was still on the most wanted list. And you got to understand, when our people are choosing to be in political office, especially in the higher levels that's not local, it's almost impossible. You're not going to see that footprint or change for us as a group specifically, because it's more so focused on the whole, and the majority is still 70 is still our Caucasian sisters and brothers. So we got to learn to work together to grow, but we have to also learn to build our own institutions and our own programs so we can continue to grow as a group while still maintaining that collective, right? So on Asada, on the back of here, I'll just read a little bit. On May 2nd, 1973, Black Panther Asada Shakur, aka Joanne, lay in a hospital close to death, handcuffed to her bed, while local, state, and federal police attempted to question her about the shootout on the New Jersey Turnpike that had claimed the life of a white state trooper. Long a target of J. Edgar Hoover's campaign to defame, infiltrate, and criminalize Black nationalist organizations and their leaders, Shakur was incarcerated for 4 years prior to her conviction on flimsy as evidence in 1977 as an accomplice to murder. And if you notice one thing, all our leaders who have stood up and who were making an impact, those were the ones who were either executed or who were exiled, and who movements were dismantled because they were actually doing something productive. The ones that are put in our face to always admire or love, you have to wonder, why did you choose those for us? And we got to remember, we need to choose our own leaders to prop up. Who do we actually follow? But I suggest learning about them all and seeing what worked and what didn't. Now, what I'm currently reading, I'm almost done here, stay tuned. Okay, what I'm currently reading is none other than W.E.B. Du Bois, The Souls of Black Folk. And this, I am actually on chapter 3, where he's talking about Booker T. Washington. Now, this one's pretty funny. He is here again. He's one who he is fearless. He doesn't hold his tongue for nothing, and he was a trip. Okay, if you studied W.E.B. Du Bois, he had an issue with Garvey. He had an issue with Booker. He really didn't understand their perspectives and how they approached what we needed at the time. Until he got older. If you pay attention, the older he got later in his career, he was even exiled from the U.S. and had to go abroad. I believe he was in Ghana in the later years of his life, and you will see that some of his ideas, he started to mature and change, because it's like, if they all came together, all of our leaders who wanted to do something, put all of your thoughts and ideas and programs together and make one big boom, okay, one big progress, that would have been nice. But that's not how it played out. But we learn and we grow, and we should be doing that. But W.E. Du Bois, he had some thoughts on Booker. I believe he really didn't understand what Booker was really going for. Booker gets this bad clout sometimes of being a sellout or working with others to try to keep Black people to stay in the space. And Booker's push was cash your buckets where you are, in the sense, no, if you want something, you need to build it yourself. And that's what was his drive for Tuskegee University at the time. If you want a cafeteria dorm room, you're going to have to build it. And I kind of feel like Tuskegee University lost that aspect of it, but Booker was really pushing for, if we want to learn at the time industrial work, we need to educate ourselves on that so we can create our own jobs and build for ourselves. But Booker talks with his viewpoints at the time of how he felt. And I also have a biography of W.E.B. Du Bois here, and this is over 700 pages. If you can see, I'm still only on like page 5, okay, of this, and this is by David Levering Lewis. And I'm gonna take my time with this. I'm gonna carry this into 2026. This is one of those books where I'll be reading piece by piece, taking notes, because just really diving in. And this is from someone else's viewpoint, so I like to study our leaders in tandem, read their own words, but also read what others thought, how they perceived their life and what they did. And so I'm excited for that. And just a quick note, and I'll let you go, I got some PET tape, and this is to use on my planner, my reading journal. So excited. And then I got some more stickers from Wrong. This is my year. You can kind of see what they look like here. I don't know if you're a planner girl or a junk journal, you love to write things down and organize your life that way, but I'll use these stickers in my planner as I'm planning my day. You got little quotes, inspirational. Okay, it's cute. All right, well, that's all I have for you today. Let me know in the chat, have you read any of the books that I have shown in this video? If so, what was your favorite? What did you learn? Who are you inspired by? And I hope that you get something motivated when you're watching these videos. And in the meantime, in between time, always remember to keep rising.
I'm telling you that there ain't no other way. Pack your bags and leave.